Hey everybody out there, you're tuned in to 91.8 The Fan. You're in my corner and I have a returning guest to the corner. Would you like to tell them your identity?
Yes, it's Todd Haberkorn, sometimes known as Vic Mignogna in some circles. I don't know why, I don't know how, but that tends to happen.
Well, maybe it's because they just get your dolls confused, your action figures.
I know, and they're not anatomically correct dolls, unfortunately. I mean, it's like you open it up and there's no chest hair. It's like, what's going on with this doll? But maybe that's for the next model. I don't know.
Well, we'll have to watch and see for that, but I actually have to blame you for something.
Uh-oh, what'd I do?
Well, basically, because I've spent so much time on 91.8 The Fan, when I saw your panel at Anime Vegas, you actually convinced me to start watching anime again, and I hadn't watched anime since August of 2009.
That's a big deal.
Yes, because I spend so much time doing this, I essentially get up and check the radio and make sure everybody's at their shift. So generally, I've kind of put it at the back burner. So I got the Funimation trial and I started watching Hetalia.
Excellent. Well, that's good to hear. I'm glad we brought you back to the land of the animated.
Definitely, and I feel like I've missed out a lot because there's so many shows that now I need to go back and see that I'm kind of like overwhelmed.
Yeah, well, you've got a lot to watch, so that's good. That's good. You've got a backlog.
And I will say that show has quite a following. Did you expect that? Oh, did we lose you?
No, I didn't know. I was told that it was going to be big. I had no clue, and I'm glad to be a part of it because I don't know if people are fully aware of this, but I was originally going to be kind of a different be along with it in a different capacity.
Well, oh,
And
how
so
so?
thank you. I originally was England, not Italy.
How did you end up switching roles then?
The just just through just through circumstances, the actor that was playing Italy had to pull out for various reasons, and I had already recorded the entire show as England, and then I went in and auditioned, and it came down. It was actually head to head between me and someone else, and then I got it. So I was happy to be a part of it. I didn't, for that show, I didn't really know how it was going to go because they were, 5-minute episodes. I never heard of anything like that. But luckily, people seem to catch on, and I get emails all the time about people that are, they're like, oh, I'm learning a lot about history, and I'm it's really helping me in my history class and stuff. So it's cool that we're being offensive and educational at the same time.
Well, to be fair, I hope that they're double checking their information before just relying on the show.
Oh yeah, actually, there's an extra feature on the one of the DVDs that talks about the historical accuracy of some of it. Maybe not all of it, but a lot of it is checked out and finds its way back to the truth. So.
And now with the show, it's obviously, as you said, kind of offensive. Were you worried that people were going to like go up in arms about it, or are you
They have, and we've got the letters hanging up in the studio that recorded it, but about people's complaints and stuff. But the thing about it is, I think, is that you gotta take it in stride. They gotta realize that it's just tongue-in-cheek humor. It's no different than Ricky Gervais at the Golden Globes or Monty Python, things like that. It's going to be offensive to some, but you can't please everybody when you're working on something that is hopefully appealing to such a mass audience.
That's very true. And at the same time, it's not like there's any, place you guys ignore. So you insult everybody fairly.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. We
Exactly.
everybody gets their fair lashing.
And now, with your role specifically, you actually talk in a very high and a very fast voice. Was that difficult at all?
Well, I mean, I have a very feminine voice to begin with, and I've had it all my life. I'm going to work on that. But no, it's actually it was the note I kept getting from the director was faster, more energy. So it took a little doing to get there, but once we did it, you kind of fall into it and you just stick with it. And it wasn't difficult. It was because again the episodes are so fast. So it was now had they been regular length episodes, it might be a little more difficult. But I've had some Sergeant Frog training, so that helped me with it too.
Well, so I'm going to assume there's bloopers somewhere of you at least getting a little tongue-tied.
Probably. I'm a real square in the booth. I don't really I can't think of funny things to do or say. I'm just getting mad at myself because I didn't get it right. Whereas like someone like Tatum is really funny in the booth, or Stabbit. I just don't operate on that brain level of intelligence. Maybe in my next life, we'll see.
Well, I can understand that. I think my brother took those genes from my family, so I can't do that either. All my jokes are cheesy.
All right, next life we're gonna do it.
We're gonna do it, definitely. We'll see how we fare in the next life.
Mm-hmm.
But there's another show that the fans feverishly want me to ask about, and you're a part of a show called Fairy Tale.
Yeah,
Yep.
that show is very near and dear to my heart.
Really? Could you explain a little bit about your character in the show?
I play an orphaned fire wizard who was raised by a dragon, and then the dragon became a deadbeat daddy. And I'm on the search for him, and I'm part of the Fairy Tale Guild, which is a guild of wizards. And it's basically about at the end of the day, I'm going to save the day, but it's going to take a lot of people to corral me and down the right path the whole time. So it's a lot of fun. It's got a lot of colorful characters. I love the boss battles. They're all unique. They're all larger than life. It's a really epic, fun show, and I'm very happy to be a part of it. We took it to New York, got to meet the manga and anime creator at the convention, and we had a great time. And he's very, very happy with what we've done with it, and our only hope is to just honor him. And it seems like we've done that, and we'll hopefully continue to do that.
Oh, that's really cool. I love to hear stories about voice actors getting to meet the original creators because they get to be a part of their production. So you're never sure how the original creators will like it or if they, might have a problem with it because it's a totally another language.
Oh, yeah, and the director of the show had never met a creator of the show that he's worked on, Tyler Walker. And so it was a big deal for him. He was very nervous that his leg was going at 100 miles an hour, and he was chewing gum like he would have chewed through iron the way he was chewing that gum. But he was very excited, and he knew every chapter and verse of the show, and they got along great. And we all took great pictures together. And it's actually the picture that we got as a group with the American cast and such is one of my most favorite pictures I've ever had at a convention. So.
Oh, that's cute. I love that. And now the I would assume that the show has a lot of aggression that you can deal out because there's a lot of fights and whatnot.
Oh, yeah, I can't record 2 days in a row on that show. That show is very, very difficult on my throat. I've lost my voice a couple times doing it. We have to take breaks. Right now we're at episode, I think, 48 or 50 or something. And we don't have any more because we're waiting on to see what the sales do for the show. If people get out there and buy it. A lot of times the trap that people fall into is they want to wait till the save edition comes out or the discounted edition. I mean, they're already really, really cheap on Amazon.com, and people need to get out there and support it now because if they wait for those save editions, that tells Funimation, oh, well, they didn't really like the show, we shouldn't get it anymore. When really they did like it, they were just waiting until it got cheaper. I mean, right now it's like $20 for 13 episodes. I mean, it doesn't get cheaper than that. And what that does is it tells Funimation, hey, they're ready to rock with more of this. They want more Fairy Tale. Let's get it out there. And if we get to 100 episodes, I'm going to get a Nazi tattoo on my right arm. I told the fans that, but only if we dub 100 episodes.
Oh wow. So now I have more of a incentive to buy anime because I want to see that on camera.
Yeah, and what's going to happen is Funimation has already said we're going to get a camera crew together. We're going to go down to the tattoo parlor. They're going to videotape the whole thing. I mean, it's going to be the real deal, but only if we dub 100.
Okay, good to know, and good to know for the listeners out there. You might want to look for that on Right Stuff or Amazon. And
There we go.
with Funimation, I already think a lot of their volumes, as soon as they come out, are actually fairly cheap in comparison to the competition. So I don't see what the reason is for waiting for the save edition.
Well, yeah, I agree with you. A lot of times, I mean, that's the kind of thing that you deal with is just, people parting ways with their funds for the things that they like. And I totally get it because you're in the era of 99-cent apps and games. Grand Theft Auto costs $7 on the iPad. People want the most they can get for the least amount of money. Well, the way I look at it is with merchandise and with funds like this, for example, with fairy tale, it's like a cake. You can't bake a cake without eggs and flour. Well, in this case, the cake is more episodes of fairy tale, and the cake and flour is money, quite frankly. I mean, that's the way you communicate with a company. Funimation is not this cold, calculated killer of a company. I mean, they are fans of these shows and they want it to continue, but at the same time, everything costs to continue. It costs to fly actors in and to write the episodes and to create the DVD art, to create the website, to get it out to distributors and all that. So I mean, we're at the end of the day, you're right. The box sets are very low because we're making it as low as possible, the price point for the fans, because we know that people want to get as much as they can for their buck. So we make it as cheap as possible, but it's still going to cost. And I think when the fans understand that, and a lot of them do, and when they stay on board with that, they'll get more of the shows that they want. It's not a big secret of how to get more shows, more seasons of the show that you like. You just got to get out there and buy the box set.
Now, one thing you mentioned is the whole evil corporation thing, and that's an argument I see quite a lot for people who refuse to buy anime. And that is one of the ones that absolutely boggles my mind. Like, don't support the man, they're a multi-billion-dollar corporation, but it's like the maybe together, or maybe if you include Japan, but the anime industry is quite small in comparison to a lot of industries in the US, like movies and TV and so on and so forth.
Anime is a very, very tiny part of the entertainment market. They're not a billion-dollar corporation. You have to understand that Funimation is one company that employs, many, 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 many workers in a lot of different varieties. We have a 48,000 square foot facility. But in that's 48,000 square foot. So think of a Walmart that is basically Funimation Studios. We have 10 studios. Not all running at the same time, but we've got a legal department, a distribution department, we've got an art department, we've got a DVD quality control department, we've got a writing staff, we've got, all of this that have to be, they have families they have to support, they have places they have to go to promote Funimation, and there's the website, and then there's the Funimation channel, there's the free swag that everybody gets at the cons, there's the booth. So, I mean, it's expensive to get up and running with companies. Now, if you're talking about a company like, there are bloodthirsty companies out there. Funimation is not one of them. What's a bloodthirsty company? I mean, I think companies like, I don't want to go on record saying what companies I think, because then I make a hate mail, but there are companies out there that are definitely zombie-like, vampiric companies, but Funimation is not one of them.
Well, I don't really think many of the anime companies are any, to be honest, especially when the number is now dwindling. I don't know if you heard the news earlier
Mm-hmm.
in
Oh, yeah.
January. Yeah, that was really surprising to me. That seemed like a big blow, but at the same time, Bandai was not selling their merchandise at the same prices as Funimation. So I kind of
Well,
felt like it was hard for them to compete.
it is difficult because you're seeing these companies. I mean, and this is happening. Companies are falling. They're crumbling, and you have to. I mean, look at the look at the lawsuit that Funimation is involved with at the ADV. They weren't suing for $1 billion. They weren't suing for $50 million. They're suing for 8. Hey, these are not big figures we're talking about here. When you think about it on a global scale, as far as Funimation is considered a international company, $8 million is not a lot. And so we're dealing with small companies here. So I think people have to keep that in mind, and also realize they have to wrap their mind around the idea that things just cost money. I mean, people don't want to buy their anime. Well, why don't you go to a clothing store and just take the clothes you want? Why do you have to pay for it? Why do you need to buy groceries? Just go in there and take the food you want. Why? You don't pay for your anime. Why should you pay for your food? Why should you pay for your gas? Steal it. Don't stop there. If you're going to do it, do everything. Steal soft drinks. I'm looking at a vendor right now. He's got a ton of hats outside. Maybe I'll go take a couple of those. It's for some reason with entertainment, people are okay with stealing that, but other things are like, oh, well, we got to pay for that. But our entertainment, no, we shouldn't have to. It's a very strange idea, and I don't know where it comes from.
Maybe it's digital distribution. I'm not quite sure. I mean, maybe because it's not they don't, when you download something, it's not tangible. It's just something on your computer. So maybe it doesn't have the same effect as like having the DVD in your hands that you stole from a store. It's still wrong regardless, but for
Yeah.
whatever reason, that might be the illusion that people are looking at.
Yeah, maybe that's a good point. Maybe that is it. I don't know.
Though I will say that you, since you brought up the lawsuit, a lot of the comments that I saw on that from netizens were things like, why does the anime companies have to fight with each other? It's just $8 million. But I have to look at it from the sense of, you know, if you loan somebody $1,000 and like a year or two later they never paid you back and they signed something saying they would pay you back, would you not eventually go to court?
Wow. It's just $8 million. Okay. I mean, I know it's saying that that's a small figure, but I'm talking comparatively. Like that's still a lot of money. I know that I didn't make $8 million this week, so
It's okay. I didn't either. Maybe next week.
that's back in our next live.
Yeah, definitely. But I think the whole thing is really, really interesting. And from an actor's perspective, did that shock you to see that Funimation was suing all these companies?
It shocked me in the sense that you know, Funimation is usually, they're usually in a very you just don't ever think about Funimation in the light of legality and such. You just think they're a company that provides anime. And, oh wow, they're in the lawsuit. So that was a little shocking to see that make headlines. But
Definitely.
at the end of the day, I mean, they're a company that has to look out for their property, whether it be employees, their funds, or merchandise, and they're just doing, I guess, what they need to do.
And I think with that, we're going to take a short break here on 91.8 The Fan, but don't go anywhere because our special guest isn't going anywhere. He's still getting his groceries. We know exactly where he is. Got him pinpointed on the radar. So keep it tuned to 91.8 The Fan. Everything you want and nothing you don't.
You need to cry. Let's brainstorm. I could hit you over the head with a wrench, or I could stab you in the gut with the knife. Knife wrench! Practical and safe.
Are you tired of crappy ideas that don't work? So are we. So we invented 918 The Fan. 918 The Fan. Everything you want to hear, nothing you don't.
Knife wrench! For kids.
Hey everybody out there, you're tuned in to 91.8 The Fan. My special guest, are you still here?
Oh yes, I'm about to tear into a strawberry. Isn't that the weirdest return you've ever had?
You know, I think the weirdest one I ever had is I said, is our special guest still here? Can you give me a sign of life? And all I heard was beep, beep, beep. I was like, oh no, we're going to go to a short break.
Were you interviewing R2? What was the...
The name escapes me. I can't remember which voice actor I was interviewing, but I just
Okay.
know that they got disconnected. And
Go.
it was the worst possible time. But hopefully it's a good strawberry.
It was.
And now it's in your belly.
Mm-hmm.
But now, one thing that the listeners didn't get a chance to know about last time, because we haven't talked in quite a while, is your new web portal, Team Haberkorn. Could you elaborate what that is about?
Yeah, that is a fan site that came about in September at launch, and it is it's a site that supports right now the Acadiana Humane Society, which is a no-kill animal shelter based out of Louisiana. And we just finished a big project with them. We did voice actors in their pets calendar. I don't know if that article was seen by many on Anime News Network, but we had 12 different voice actors with their pets, and we turned it into a calendar. We did a photo shoot with everybody, sent it out. There was a contest in there for members, and people got calendars, and it all supported the Humane Society. What we try to do is not only support them, but we try to give people a hub to kind of be in the Haberkorn world, because a lot of people are talking about it. And so someone approached me about it, and they said, cool, okay, let's do it. We have podcasts. We have contests every month. We've got we do weekly chat rooms. We have and our contests don't just do artwork. It's writing. Right now we have a songwriting contest. There's a lot always going on. Everything's 100% approved by me on that site. It's a way to get in touch with me in a way that you can't do on Facebook, because a lot of times And I'm sorry to folks out there, they send me mail in my inbox. I don't really check it because I've got 1,000 sitting there, and it's hard to keep up with all the normal email and this. And we work very hard for the Team Haberkorn website. We have a lot of merchandise. We also have something that's very unique. We have two things that are unique. One is we have an artist series brand of merchandise. So a lot of times people that join are artists. Well, they send in some artwork, and if we like it, we put it on merchandise, and we sell it on at conventions and on the website. And those artists that are members get a portion of those proceeds. So it's a way to get their artwork on a larger platform and to make a little bit of money at the same time, which is fun for artists that I'm sure want to do that. The other thing that we do is we are a pay fan club. It's $30 a year. And a lot of times people are like, oh no, $30 a year, what's the deal? Well, if you think that's less than 8 cents a day, and for the amount of content, you get 365 days a year of content, and you get a membership packet when you join. That's a shirt, a lanyard, a membership card. You get a welcome card. You get a badge. You get a lot of stuff with that. So basically, essentially, what you're doing is you're just getting a T-shirt, and with that comes a membership. So if you want to think about it that way. But we have a lot of fun on there. There's tons of pictures of people in their Team Haberkorn shirts. We've got a lot of new projects coming out this year, starting this month actually. There's a lot of perks for members because we work with a lot of organizations online to provide discounts for cosplay. We provide discounts to anime conventions if you're a Team Haberkorn member. For instance, this contest this month, the winner gets an entire Hetalia cosplay generously donated by MickCostumes.com, in addition to winning a box set. So people that have joined have a lot of fun and enjoy everything we throw at them. We hope to keep doing it.
Oh, that's really cool. And it's interesting to hear that because some of the guests I have on, they haven't even mastered Twitter yet, but you have a full-blown, like, multi-tasketed, if that's a word, it's not a word, fan club online. So that's really cool to see.
Also, let me just say, this is around the clock. I get probably 20 emails a day about Team Haberkorn internal business. It is run by me and 3 other people. That is it. We handle all the shipments, all the orders, all the technical problems, everything. We run this thing every single day. So one podcast, 1 half-hour podcast that I do on there, and I produce it and I do it all myself. It takes me roughly 6 to 7 hours. We also do live podcasts at conventions. We're going to have other member perks for people at conventions. So what we try to do is, people are like, why do I have to pay? Well, if you think about it, we don't just have, these aren't kids helping me run this site. These are full-blown professionals. We have a professional webmaster doing this, and we put in thousands of hours in a year. And so we're asking for just a little bit to keep the site up and running, to be able to provide merchandise, things like that. So, I know that's a little bit of a tricky area for people, but know that it all goes to good causes. And of course, like I said, a percentage of it does go to the Acadiana Humane Society.
I just think the whole idea is a great idea, to be honest, and it's nice that people who go to the effort to go to conventions get a chance to see a snippet of the podcast.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Yeah, that was something that we just started doing. We didn't always do that, but people seem to really like getting there, and there's a fun live element with it that I really like, and it also knocks out a cast that I don't have to do for the week because it's very intimidating to do those. But yeah, I produce commercials in it, and we're going to branch out into doing a radio drama here coming up, and we do a lot with the site every day, every week. New projects coming all the time. Very, very involved in it. It's probably the most immersive fan club out there, I would say. Not in a cocky way, just that we just do so much with it that I would be surprised if there was another one out there that did. And if there is, hey, I want to bow down to them because this is hard work.
And now you mentioned conventions. Do you have any that are coming up you want the listeners to know about?
Yes, on the homepage of Team Haberkorn, there's a list of upcoming conventions. I've got a lot lined up for this year. I'm very excited to get out there. Something that we're going to be doing something that we're going to be doing is the last tribute video is coming. And so that's something to look out for because it's going to be exclusively, it's not going to be available like the other ones. It's not going to be, it's going to be a very exclusive offering of this. And there's going to be a little, couple of special things where you see it with me at a convention. And there's some details we're working out on that. But be on the lookout for the last and final tribute video to come. Vic is finished with his, and that's coming out soon. And then mine will be next.
Very nice. And is there anything else you want the listeners to know about? Any things that recently came out or anything you're working on?
Keep plugging away. Get Fairy Tale, support it. Let's get to 100 episodes. Go to teamhaberkorn.com. I know, guys, there's a lot of things out there that go after your Green, go after your Benjamin. But there's a lot of choices, and I thank everyone that goes and gets anime and supports anime in general and supports Team Haberkorn because you're supporting an animal shelter at the same time. So thank you so much for that, and I just hope that you keep coming and we can keep making you happy.
Well, thank you so much for joining the show again. It's always a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you very much for having me. It's great. I love seeing you guys out at the cons, and I'm always having a good time with you.
And for anybody out there who missed any of this interview, shame on you, but don't fret. It'll be up on the website within the next few days. So keep your eyes peeled to 91.8 The Fan. Everything you want and nothing you don't.